At a certain age.
Welcome to Live Up to Freedom. I am a blur. Why? I have no idea. Just so you know, I sat here without checking anything and just go and go. There you go. Looks like I might be less blurry and I'm blurry again. Okay, just bear with me. Hi, sorry. I made it here about 10 and a half seconds ago. It is Monday. You know how Mondays go. I have no idea why my camera is doing this, so hopefully that fixed it. Whew. How y'all doing? Happy Monday. We are live on worldviewtube.com, WorldViewTube Rumble and X account, WorldViewTube app, which is available on App Store for free. Also live on X America News X and live on my platforms on X, Rumble, Facebook, YouTube, and Substack. Join the conversation as you might. Today is just me and you. And I'm going to do all the announcements and everything I need to remember ahead of time because when we start the show in topic, I don't know where it's going to go and I don't know how much I'm going to remember to do any call to action. Hello, everybody. I got to give a big shout out first and most to my Substackers. Yesterday was pretty amazing. Though I didn't do, well, I only did one show last week, which was last Monday. But using my phone, I did plenty live stream on Substack. And yesterday we did two different streams. One was when I was mastering my chapter 4 of the audiobook, and one was just chilling in my living room, finishing some art pieces. Talk about art pieces, new items will be listed within the next day or two. You can find them at lutfstudio.com, lutfstudio.com. Use a promo code mission for 10% off. But it was awesome. It was the first time I actually did something like this on Substack. I used to do this kind of random streams on Facebook, but it was fun. It was such a joy, and we'll do more of those. Also, remember tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, this is for paid subscribers on Substack only. You'll receive an email with a link. We're going to do our month of May deep dive into my book, The Architecture of Jihad. So you can join me and Aisha, and possibly Michael Auber might join us as well. It's open mic. You can ask questions, you can make comments, And we're going to just address the book. And for those of you who have not picked up a copy of my book, that's completely okay. If you like to do so, you can get a copy of the book in Kindle or paperback format on Amazon, or get a signed copy, which I only have, I think, 11 left on my website, liveuptofreedom.com. So that's for the artistry, that's for the book. Tonight, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m., we're going to do the deep dive into the book. And when I come back from Los Angeles, California, we're going to start doing weekly deep dive into the book of Architecture of Jihad on my Substack. So that's your invitation. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to my Substack. That's liveuptofreedom.substack.com, liveuptofreedom.substack.com. And of course, I encourage you to become a paid subscriber because a lot of behind the scene is happening with paid subscribers only, including the audiobook mastering and a lot of production work is there. However, the deep dive of the book will be for subscribers only, free and paid. So you don't have to become a paid subscriber for the book study at all. Hello, Liz. Good to see you. Wonderful to see you. And a great hello to Cyrus Crew on Substack. I will check the comments as often as I can because the topic, as I said, I wanted to put it all out. Aside the fact that I rushed to camera and looks like the blurry thing has resolved itself somehow. That aside, I was like, I know today's topic's I'm gonna try to keep it under control, especially because we are streaming on all platforms, but it's not gonna be a easy one, nor will I be able to, do any plugs or announcements in middle. Last announcement, next week on Wednesday, May 27th, I will be in Los Angeles, California, specifically at Locks Hotel in Sunset Boulevard. The event will start at 6:30 p.m. local time, that's Pacific time. There will be talks and, speech, and we get to talk. And there are copies of my books are available there through Front Page Mag or David Horowitz Freedom Center, and Q&A. An evening with Annie Cyrus is what they titled it. I don't know. I feel like if I say it, it's wrong, but that is the title of the event, An Evening with Annie Cyrus. I would love to see you if you can make it. That is, again, Wednesday, May 27th. To get your tickets, go to frontpagemag.com, or, frontpagemag.com is the best place to get it. It's the simplest place to get it. Just go to events. You'll see my event there, and you can get your tickets. That's for next week. And on that note, also, I won't be doing any shows next week. I might possibly do the Monday show, but then after that, it's the travel. And then coming back from travel, I probably get back when the week is already over. So that's for next week. Okay. Very true, Sandra. We already had our evening with Annie Cyrus last night. It was fun. It was good. We jumped all over the place. We talked arts, and then we talked health, and then grandma's wisdom and recipe for headache, and how to get your skin super hydrated without spending hundreds of dollars on products. That was fun. Let me see how much time do I have on this segment, because I need to keep an eye on the clock. Okay, let's dive in first. Of course, the main topic is Megyn Kelly, as title of the show says. And those of you who are on my Substack probably read the intro to this discussion on my Substack last Tuesday. It was also published on Front Page Mag. And surprisingly, apparently it made its way all the way to Mark Levin, who tweeted the piece, and he actually went with unbelievable as caption. And of course, it's me. So I commented saying, it is not unbelievable at all. People like me have been trying to warn you. And I'm grateful you're still sharing the piece, but you still won't hear me. So appreciate the share, but it doesn't make much of a difference. But before we get to Megyn Kelly, let's just start with Ohio, right here, my state of Ohio. Primaries are over, and Vivek has taken the win for GOP candidate for governor of Ohio. Private messages were sent to me asking how do I feel about it. I don't like it. I was never a Vivek fan, even when others were. When, he was part of Trump administration, I wasn't a fan of him for many reasons. But when he announced that he's going to run for governor, I was just praying, because I had a feeling that he will take the primary. And I'm going to get ahead of myself and say he's most likely going to win comes November as new governor of Ohio. I am not happy about it. I am not going to celebrate if he wins, when he wins, more like it. As I said, many reasons. The very top of the chart reason for me is, call me what you wish, but I enjoy having a Christian governor, mayor, state representatives, state senators. I prefer that. But then when it goes from not only not having a Christian governor, but also having a pagan governor. And whenever I say that, a lot of people tend to get upset that why do I say he's a pagan? Well, because that's what he is. That's what he believes in. But luckily, he made my job a little easier. There was a video that came out of an interview, a very random interview at one of his campaign rallies, I think it was, or something. But anyways, his own words when he talks about where he, and funny enough, it's like his faith traditionally, where he stands with faith, specifically with Jesus Christ. Thomas, do we have that video ready to roll?
So I'll be very honest, it's not a hard question at all. So in our faith tradition, Jesus Christ is a son of God. I know that is different than saying he's the son of God. But that is my view of Jesus Christ. He's got our family. Do we worship in churches? Yes, we do. Is that compatible with our faith? Yes, it is. One true God in many forms. So that's different, and I understand that.
That is different. The only way to heaven is through Jesus Christ.
I think that is the path. That is a path to heaven, is the way we look at it. But belief in God is what we say. Yeah. Belief in the one true God. That's the way I look at it.
A son of God. And he understands that it's different than saying the Son of God. But his faith traditionally believes that Jesus is one of, or a Son of God. And they do worship at churches, and they think Jesus is one of a. Do I need to dig into this? Seriously? My fellow Ohioans, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you're thinking. I don't know how important it is for you for a promise that has not been delivered by the way yet. But really, your property taxes were that important? Because that's, by the way, that's his platform. Of course, his heavy lifting was the whole MAGA thing and being a Trump supporter and never having a fallout with Trump and Trump endorsing him. All of that is, of course, doing the job. But when it came down to individuals, the winning card was that he has promised to abolish property taxes. I don't know. Ohio, as I have said, has a state pretty clean in comparison. But there are areas where they're being conquered, specifically by Islamists. I'm sitting here, I'm thinking, great. Now we're going to have a governor who has no regard for any faith or religion, and there's one true God in so many forms, so I guess Allah will be considered that too. And how am I going to argue with them anyways? Like tell them like Muslims think you should be killed for being a pagan. It's, again, when your faith lacks, doesn't matter. There's no argument. So this is my top reason, as I said. The other reasons, again, being an ecosystem for MAGA, for not being in any shape or form criticizing issues, tells me that this man is not going. He's going to make Ohio worse, not better whatsoever at all. Is he going to deliver on his promises of property taxes? Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. Is that my priority when it comes to my state? Absolutely not. It's not. So, goes Ohio, unfortunately. And I can completely understand those who thought he's better than the alternative. But as you know, my new saying is I am done voting or caring or being happy about lesser evil, because evil is evil. And I don't know. At this point, being at Vivek, I don't know if the alternative, the Democrat candidate, would be worse. I'll be very honest with you. We are at a point where I do see better qualities in some Democrat candidates. I repeat that before you all blow a gasket. I see better qualities in some of the Democrat candidates than I see in those running as Republicans. It is fact. You don't have to accept it, but it is fact. There is no way I'm going to sit here and in any shape or form ever agree that all Democrat candidates are evil, all Republican candidates are angels, because I'm not that stupid. I don't know, at some point in my life, I might become that stupid. At the moment, I'm not. Therefore, I don't even know if the alternative, the Democrat candidate, is or worse than Vivek, or Vivek is lesser evil. I don't know. I'll let you know when I finish digging. But at the moment, goes Ohio for now. Until the next time when Vivek has to run again, and we'll see if anybody's going to stand up and try to run against him and remove him as governor. Until then, we're going to go take our first ad break. When we come back, we're going to dive into Megyn Kelly. That's not going to be as much fun, but we'll do it. Be right back, guys.
Life is too short to spend a single moment spinning in laundry worries. Take a load off your mind with the all-new Norwex Powerzyme laundry detergent. This natural detergent harnesses the power of enzymes and plant-based surfactants to leave fabrics fresh and clean without fillers, brighteners, synthetic fragrances, bleach, or harsh chemicals. So go ahead, have your cake and eat it too. More than ever, stressful stains have met their match. Powerzyme's fast-acting enzymes break down organic substances while natural surfactants loosen locked-in dirt and oil, removing residue, stains, and odors with ease. With 91% bio-based ingredients, this dermatologist-tested hypoallergenic formula is suitable for sensitive skin types and delivers a safe and effective clean that won't harm you or the planet's waterways. Less time spent worrying about laundry means you can focus on what truly matters. Norwex Powerzyme Laundry Detergent. Discover the power of nature and load up on confidence.
Welcome back to Live Up to Freedom. Thanks so much for staying with me until now. And that's another great way to support my work financially and give yourself a much healthier and cleaner household through Norwex products. My link is cyruswellness.com. If you go and purchase products through that link, portion of your purchase will be commissioned back to me because I am a consultant with Norwex and I use all of their products. I've been using them now for over a year and I don't have anything except good things to say about them. Absolutely good things to say. YouTube is pretty quiet today, so everybody on YouTube, I know you're watching. Thanks for being here, but the chat is pretty quiet, which is okay. Hi, Heather. Good to see you on Rumble. And I do see everyone, as always, busy on chat on Substack. Okay. So, as I said, I published the first part of this, or at least I first touched on it last Tuesday about Megyn Kelly. The Substack is out there. You can go read it. It's somewhere on top of the page. You won't miss it. There's my picture and her picture on the thumbnail, different pictures of today. But I figured, when I write, it's different. When I'm on air, it's different. It's talking versus writing and audience versus audience. So when I wrote this Substack, I actually thought I'm good. But then I realized I'm not. I'm not done with it yet. And yes, I'm specifically and directly going to talk Megyn Kelly today, but this isn't about Megyn Kelly. This is about Megyn Kellys out there. There are too many of them. And farther than step behind those, it's you guys. Again, not everybody, but you being audiences out there on social media, on broadcast and networks. It is time for every single individual to pick a side. It's, at least for me, there is no more, and I hear this plenty. I support such and such. And I know one of the saying, I don't remember who said it, but Brandon repeats it, that if we agree on 80% and disagree on 20%, then we're not enemies. And I agree with that in generic picture of life. But when it comes down to a specific topics, if those topics is within your 10 or 20% of disagreement with me, then we are officially enemies. That's where I'm at, like it or not. Again, that's my position in life. Enough of, if I agree on 80% generic percentage. No, we can disagree on 1%, but if that 1% is about Islam and Sharia, then you are the enemy. Right or wrong, that is where I'm at. Because I'm done. I'm fed up. I'm sick of it. If that 1% disagreement is you hating Jews and blaming all of your miserable failures on Jews, then you're my enemy. Because you're Jews' enemies. 1%. Forget about 20%, 10%. 1% difference could be that one topic. You could agree with everything I say and I do. Now, these one individual topics are where we're done. I'm going to draw a line. I will draw a line. Now, if you're a big name somewhat huge name with millions of dollars income from that huge name, and you decide to either straight up from the beginning or halfway through your popularity, decide to use your weapon. Because here's the thing. Those of us who have a microphone and have an extended audience, these microphones are our weapons. It is. So people like Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owen, and the rest of them, when I say use your weapon, I'm talking about their microphone. When you decide to use your weapon to disregard and discredit the pain, the agony, and the misery of 1400 years of Islam's victims in all shapes and forms, then I'm not done with just one Substack. You're probably going to be a regular name I'm going to constantly address. Do I think I have what it takes for your audience to even flinch about it? Absolutely not. They're part of the brainwash system. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to keep repeating what you just did, because no one else did. When my Substack came out, no one else was even addressing what you said. Everybody was addressing it as you are defending Tucker Carlson. That part, I could not find any care to give for it. As always, everyone who was addressing it had the wrong angle, because welcome to America, right angles don't exist. Bias, tunnel vision angles exist on social media in Western culture, to be specific. I guess that's where I kind of come out as a unique person to most of my audience. Let's reverse this. Let's just start with when I said halfway. I want to establish something. Those who change narrative in my eyes are more guilty of those who had the same view from day one. What do I mean by that? For example, someone who was a, what is his name? I can't remember his name. The guy, the main host of Young Turks. I can't remember his name right now. Anyways, that guy has always been an anti-Semite and a pro-Islam and a pro-Palestine and pro-Islamic Republic of Iran's regime from day one. Why is he less guilty in my book? Because, well, he came out with his stand, right or wrong, and said, this is where I stand, and he's standing with it. But those like Candace Owen and Tucker Carlson and Megyn Kelly and the rest of them, they all became who they are because at some point, I can promise you, except me, everyone on every single platform watching right now, at some point was a Megyn Kelly fan. At some point was on the TV cheering her for all the right things she was saying. That is called, to me, that is called deception. Because no genuine brain can flip from this to that in any shape or form. Can a genuine brain flip from wrong to right? Absolutely. That is the beauty of learning in life. That's why we search and search and search for truth. But a genuine brain wouldn't flip from right to wrong. Let's play the second clip, Megyn 2. This is Megyn Kelly on January 2nd doing a special programming with a Q&A. The whole topic is her just addressing questions that were submitted. This is right after Mamdani is elected. So to give you context, because I just clipped that part out, she is addressing a question submitted by an audience asking about how she feels about specifically Muslims being elected to American offices. Let's hear her respond to that question, January 2nd, 2026.
I have Muslim friends. It's nothing against them. Their individual, friendships are fine. They as individuals are fine. But Islam is not consistent with the values of America, of the West. They should stay in countries that don't care about keeping church and state separated. They should stay in countries that don't care about protecting free speech. They should stay in countries that don't care about women's rights. That's where Islam can fester and grow. It's great. I mean, I'm sure if that's like your thing and you don't care about like genital mutilation, you might really enjoy living in an Islamic country. If you don't mind living in a life as a woman where you have to keep every inch of your body except for your eyeballs covered, yeah, it's someplace in the Middle East could be for you. It's not my thing. It's not America's thing. And it's not a thing that we should want or encourage in the West. And it's definitely not a thing we should encourage at our governmental level. I mean, one of the tenets of Islam is to convert, is to take over. They want to get rid of the infidels, the Christians. They do not want to live peacefully side by side with us. They want to convert us. They want either to get rid of us or subvert our religion and our beliefs to theirs. So it's a no on more immigrants from Muslim countries. And on the 5-time call to prayer being played over loudspeakers in places like Minneapolis, that has to stop at Dearborn and Minneapolis. We've already lost 2 major American cities, and we should be done with that. So you need to get involved at your town council. You need to pay attention when ordinances are going through. You need to not be afraid to say, we're not electing an Islamic mayor because that's not consistent with our majority beliefs. And if they call you a bigot, so be it. Remember what Christopher Hitchens said. You know, they're going to make up this term Islamophobia to shut us down. And that's by design. There's no such thing as Islamophobia. You are not only entitled to, quote, fear Islam, I would argue it's your duty as a Christian to stand up and fight against it.
A plus, 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 couple of plus, more plus. As I said, January 2nd, 2026. 4 months ago. 4 months ago. And this wasn't the first time. She has addressed Islam before. Now, I was not a Megyn Kelly fan, not because she wasn't addressing Sharia and Islam. And with that clip, you can see that, surprisingly, she actually has the basic knowledge. She understands the basic. I wasn't her fan for different reasons, which this is not the time nor the place to bring them up. But this is the Megyn Kelly millions cheered, supported, network signed contracts with, not as specifically Islam. The bluntness and the ability to sit there on a random special New Year's episode and address questions. That was how Megyn Kelly became very popular, very powerful. A woman, a beautiful face with a brain, all of that. Now let's play her clip. I know we're due for our next ad break, but let's play her next clip. Now, this one came out 2 weeks ago. That's where the 4-month gap is. So that was January 2nd. This was, I hope I'm not too far off, it was May 7th or 8th of 2026. Let's roll the clip. Megyn,
like, he's gotten very, very popular lately, I read, with Muslim viewers because he's been standing up for Islam, you know? And I have to tell you, Mark, it's been something I've noticed just since I've gotten sort of more clear-eyed on Israel, that a lot of the anti-Muslim rhetoric that's put out there originates with people who are very, very pro-Israel, who kind of need us to demonize them. Right. And I've taken a look recently at my own rhetoric on this to say, like, have I been manipulated? I want to make sure I'm not getting manipulated.
Why would money from Islamists ever be a manipulation, Megyn? Why? Why? By the way, you can find that full show if you care for not being out of context. It's been a week, so thankfully I have less face talking rather than me talking. But when you go from that to this in 4 months, apparently she is now coming to her senses, right? Clear-eyed on Israel, the big monster. Now she's revisiting her narrative. And she wants to make sure she wasn't being manipulated. And Israel needs us to demonize Muslims. I'm repeating the highlights just in case if it was too fast or if you missed the point, because that's the thing. Someone like me reacts to these few seconds way different than most people would. Why? The very first thing I heard was that, so let me get this straight. You think, Megyn, I'll talk about me first, because I have to. And then I'll talk about other people. But you actually think that when I was 13 and my father sold me to a man and put a price on me that the man could meet, you think that's Israel's propaganda, right? I mean, who cares about what happened to me? The new payroll tells you that you got to come out and say Islamophobia and anti-Islam and anti-Muslim narrative is just Israeli propaganda. So do you think the Said sisters who were killed by their father right here in America for being too Americanized, and the older sister dating an American Christian boy, that was also Israel propaganda, right? Like, Said sisters aren't dead. They weren't shot in the back seat of their father's car. That was all just propaganda. The Muslim father didn't do it, Megyn. It was Mossad, Mossad did it, because that's your new narrative, right? That is your new narrative inside the Republican talking heads. Now let me go there. How many more conservatives are going to flip until you stop saying they're rhinos? They're rhinos. Is there much of the conservative talking heads left who haven't flipped yet? Because I don't think they are. The balance has dramatically shifted. And you can keep revoking their conservative cards. Now, the you I'm talking to is the audience on social media and networks. Keep revoking their cards. You know what you sound like when you do that? The black people who revoked the black people's card for supporting Trump. That's who you are now. You don't look inside the party. You revoke people's card. They're not conservative anymore. Instead of thinking what has happened to your party, you want to keep your party away from criticism and revoke everybody inside. They're all rhinos. Well, if your party is about 70% rhino, 30% Republican, I'm sorry. Your party is the rhino party, not the Republican party. Let's work with your own formula. Because the show she's on is also a conservative broadcast. It's not like she was invited by some leftist lunatic out there. We gotta go take our next ad break. I'm already late and I need to calm down before I say the next sentence. So don't go anywhere. We're right back.
I have Muslim friends. It's nothing against them. They're individual,
Well, hello everybody. It's Annie Cyrus. Welcome to my art studio where all the magic happens. This is the station for painting, and that is the station for all the resin art I do. If you want to check out my art, all you gotta do is go to lutfstudio.com. But I'm sure, or at least I hope, I'll see you at lutfstudio.com. Welcome back to Live Up to Freedom. Thank you so much for joining me and staying with me until now. On YouTube, I have a question for Celebrity Scars handle. 2 questions. Why are you watching my show if you're a Candace fan? You do realize to be a fan of me and Candace at the same time is very questionable. Then your statement says Mossad assassinated Lincoln. Candace has evidence. Wonderful. I have evidence that I was sold by a Muslim. I was raped by Muslims. I was beat up by Muslims. I was arrested by Muslims. I was lashed by Muslims. Does Candace have evidence against that? Please have her do a special on me because she's so special with evidence that none of them are tangible evidence as of today, let alone Lincoln time. But let's say for the sake of argument, you're right. You want to explain to me what the heck your comment has to do with anything I'm saying today? Or again, your brainwashed system of hating Mossad and Israel has taken over so much that you didn't hear a darn word I just said. I don't believe in a word like Candace talking, even muted. I know it's a lie. That's for Candace, FYI. And again, I'm very curious as to, I think you're the first person I have ever seen that watches my show and is a believer in Candace's evidence. However, Mossad killed Lincoln. Okay. What does that have to do with anything I'm addressing right now? Because I wasn't. I wasn't talking about Lincoln, nor Mossad, nor as I just looked. We should probably check to see if Mossad even existed during Lincoln. But again, that's the argument for Candace and Candace fans who like to dig into absolute non-existent thing, because Candace knows her platform is dying, not because anti-Semitism. No, Candace's platform is dying because she picked the wrong person to go after, which was Erica Kirk. That was her career suicide. Because nowadays, being anti-Semite is actually a career builder. And that is exactly what I started my show with. The main problem is those of you who are not in front of cameras, who are not behind the microphones. I saw this video of a gorgeous lady behind the wheel. She just did a clip, and she actually said something like, wow, we are at a point in our lives where people would believe a lie with no proof and will drive you bonkers for proof to accept the truth. That's where we're at. That's why Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, Alex Jones, Megyn Kelly, Nick Fuentes, Tate Brothers, that's why they are the famous and the rich out there. Listen to my words carefully. Famous and rich, not wealthy, rich. Because people are so in love with the propaganda and the drama and the lies that trying to report on the truth pretty much plays no role anymore. I have addressed the issue of, let me check on something because looks like, are we good? Yeah, we are good. Never mind. I have addressed the ridiculous new fashion of anti-Semitism. And my stand has always been clear from day one. Again, I'm one of those voices. My narrative has never changed. My tone has never changed, and it's not going to change. Again, I come from it. And I will sit here proudly, repeat that. I come from it. I wasn't even the Muslim girl in America who had to escape my Muslim community. Now, I was born and raised in the Islamic Republic of Iran. I grew up in the Islamic society and the Islamic constitution and the Islamic family. And it was all part of God's plan. The odds of having a sheikh father and a mom who taught Quran so you could learn all about it, it was all part of his plan. But the point is, as I addressed on my Substack, when all of that was happening to me, I didn't know where Israel is. Did I know about death to Israel every morning? Absolutely. Did I know how the flag looks like because it's being burned every afternoon on the TV? Yeah. Did I know what's that? No idea. Not a clue. So when you walk around and you turn everything into Israel and the Jews and Mossad, you think, well, you're kind of right to think that your audience is dumb enough to fall for it, because most of them are. But then there are those of us out here who can come out and say, Megyn Kelly, you think you care for people? Or are you the same person who was worried about female genital? Oh, wait, you're right. Guys, remember the female doctor who was arrested in Michigan who was performing underground female genital mutilation? Yeah, she was Israeli Jew, you're right. Oh, wait, no, crud. If Candace doesn't have a different evidence against this, online on the archive of DOJ, her name is registered and she's actually a born, raised, and practicing Muslim woman, doctor. How's that for your Israeli propaganda? Again, I'm not here to convince you not to hate Israel. I can understand why you hate Israel. I can. Because the only way to maintain your luxurious lifestyle and your real human hair extensions and fancy dress and jewelry and a studio and producers and writers, you need the money. Hating Israel makes you good money nowadays. I mean, great money. So I get why you hate Israel. And I'll let you do you. This is a free country. But here's where I will draw the line. Your hate for Israel does not give you the right to rewrite my entire childhood and then gaslight me when I try to tell people what's coming for them based on my pain and the scars. You don't have the right to do that. Not even your First Amendment of free speech or freedom of religion or freedom of press, in your case, doesn't give you that right. It doesn't. Clearly, you're no longer a Christian who sees it as her duty to fight Islamization. Good with that too. But if it takes for the rest of my life to repeat, put your clip on loop, I'll do that. Because you think you're backing Tucker and you're making more friends inside the anti-Semite payroll banks. But what you don't understand is the more you do that, the more you're going to stop ex-Muslims to ever come out and talk. Because unfortunately, again, not everybody has the thickest skin I have. So let me switch my message from Megyn Kelly and my audience to those who are following, supporting, loving, and cheering Megyn Kelly and those like Megyn Kelly. Stay an anti-Semite. You pay for your sins, I do mine. However, if you care for girls, for women, for humanity, you should understand with a woman who's willing to gaslight victims of sexist slavery, rape, acid attacks, female genital mutilation, and death to continue collecting her paycheck. If you continue standing with her just based on your hate, then I pray that one day you'll answer for it. Another reason Islam has been growing and not stopped for 1400 years, because there are always humans who allow their hate override their logic, and vice versa, those who allow their love to blind them and lose logic. I know a lot of comments are coming in. let's take our last ad break. When we come back, I will just address your comments for the rest of the show. Be right back, guys.
At a certain age, you stop chasing younger. You start protecting what helps you feel steady, strong, and well. Your body's collagen matters. It supports the structure of your skin, joints, and connective tissue. But as the years go by, your body needs more support from the inside. That's where Bella Grace Elixir comes in. Bella Grace Elixir combines Verisol collagen, the world's most clinically proven collagen, with asteryl astaxanthin and cat's claw in a proprietary blend designed to help support the processes that reconstruct collagen, while also offering antioxidant and anti-inflammatory effects. And this isn't just for women. It's for men and women who want to age with more confidence, more care, and a daily wellness routine that supports the body from within. One simple elixir, thoughtfully formulated for whole body wellness. Take care of the body that has carried you this far. Order Bella Grace Elixir today at melissahousebg.com.
Welcome back to Live Up to Freedom. Thank you so much for staying with me until now. Been a great Monday. And remember, this is one read or plug I cannot forget. I get to sit here and talk to all of you guys. It's because of Worldview Tube and Brennan House allowing me to sit here without cost to me. He take care of all the costs, payroll, bandwidth, internet, all of it, equipment, fans to cool down the equipment. So I need you to support Worldview Tube in any way you can. There are different ways. The most popular way is the tax-deductible donations. That's worldviewfoundation.com. Worldviewfoundation.com. That's tax-deductible donation to Brennan's foundation. Other way is worldviewstore.com. That's worldviewstore.com, where you can buy products that you most likely need in your life. And there are affiliates of Worldview Tube. So financial support comes back to Brennan. So support Worldview Tube, and it's needed. I look at that. Thank you, Thomas, for helping me with that at that moment. But I just did a quick Google. Something Candace doesn't even know how to do. So President Lincoln was assassinated on April 14, 1865. April 14, 1865. Mossad was founded on December 13, 1949. I guess the information I received via text was correct. You see, Candace got the proof that Mossad assassinated Lincoln, but oh well. Mossad didn't even exist. For a long time. Yeah, you brainwashed people. You brainwashed people. Okay, let me try to scan through the comments before closing the show. I'm sorry, guys, I won't get to scan through all of your comments, but I'll try to see if there's anything that I need to address. Okay, doesn't look like anything on Substack is related to the topic, at least yet. So let me move over to YouTube. I know I did see Substack froze for about half a second. I saw that, but the feed is back on. I think Lori said that. Women's group that don't stand against the horrors being perpetrated against women in countries like Iran should be sent there to see what it is like to live under them. Honestly, yes, but I don't really see the point, because a lot of people already do know. Again, it's 2026, it's technology, it's whatever. Like, anybody who claims they don't know what life is for a woman under Sharia is flat out a liar. It's a liar. Now, some people put it in a way of, well, it's their culture. They say that to sleep better at night. But there is no way. Everybody knows what life means for a girl and a woman under Islamic caliphate, modern day called regimes. Like, seriously, how can one not know? It's impossible. Everybody knows. So yeah, we can send all of them to Iran and they will come to what? You really think they're going to come to admit to it and come back to America and fight for them? Listen, let's be as blunt as we can be. Let's be as frank as we can be. Inside the United States of America, our kids are being kidnapped and trafficked every single hour of the day. What's being done about it? I'm not talking about the government, people. I repeat what my teacher, my Farsi teacher said when back in Iran. I always said, I don't even know if I've said this on air before, but anyway, she always said human nature is bargain. When you go to the market, you try to find the same product, the cheapest price is the one you buy. You compare or you try to, get a discount. The only thing humans are willing to buy for the highest price ever is experience. It's just the way it is. That's human nature. Look at the fight against child trafficking in America. 99.9% of those involved got involved after their own kid or grandkid was kidnapped, abducted, and missing. That's when you pay the higher price for the experience. Until it knocked at their door, they talked about it, they probably prayed about it, but they didn't get involved with it. It's the same thing with Islamization. I mean, forget about helping Muslim girl and woman in Middle East. Forget it. Why don't we help them right here in America? I had a discussion. I believe it was with Sandra on the phone a few days ago. When I said, no, it wasn't with Sandra. I'm sorry. It was with Victoria. Said, I have created the blueprint. Live Up to Freedom for many years have done successful rescue cases. Successful rescue cases. We had to shut down our rescue cases because even though we show the blueprint working, we showed the success, we still failed to get enough volunteers, safe houses, or donations to continue. What are you talking about? Send them to see what's happening in Iran? They don't care. I'm sorry. United States of America, by majority, has become comfortably numb. Yes, exactly as the song, Comfortably Numb. And unless majority of Americans are willing to tangibly take action, from communists to Islamists to leftists, from vaccines to poisons, the AI and the robots and the data centers and digital currency, they're all going to be placed. Not because there's nothing we can do about it. No, because there's nothing we will do about it. United States of America, by population in majority, is either overwhelmed, too busy, or too lazy to do anything about anything. Thank you, Maritza. I appreciate that. May God bless all of us. All of us. Lori, I know the government has a lot to do with child traffic. Guys, you know me. I wasn't born yesterday. I am not blind. I am not ignorant. I know that. But then what? For how long are we going to sit here and blame the government? The very government that we're too lazy to overthrow anyways. We don't have the motivation. Nobody wants to run because ahead of time, they're like, I'm not going to win anyways. I'm not going to make a difference anyways. I'm not going to do this and that anyways. I'm not going to make impact anyways. It's all government's issues. Yes, governments are corrupt everywhere. But how do you think they got there? How do you think they got there? They tested the water and it was perfect temperature. Like, look in America right now. I know you're in Canada, Lori, but look inside America. I can't get 10 people to stop bashing me and listening to what I say about Trump. The moment I say Trump, they're like, alternative would you be happy if Kamala Harris was in the office? I'm like, that's not the argument. I'm not talking about Kamala Harris. I'm talking about Trump. And the same thing applies to Canada. The same thing applies to England and France and Italy and the rest of them. People are the problem. People are the problem. And it is exhausting to have to repeat yourself like a broken record, being myself. When you make a little bit of progress, someone like Megyn Kelly comes out and pretty much spit all over your pain, your sacrifices, your compromises, your scores, everything, and go say, guess what? Tucker Carlson is getting a lot of new young Muslim fans. Guess what? I start promoting Islam, you get new fans too. I'm like, and what is the progress we're making? Nothing. Nothing. Again, not because we can't, because we won't. Most of you, especially on Substack, I love all of you. I'm very grateful and I feel blessed to have you around me. But even you sometimes say, what is there to do? It's the government's fault. Well, Democrats are worse. Said who? When was the last time you even bothered to look at a Democrat's resume who's running? Have you done that? No. No, you labeled all of them bad. That is ridiculous. It is ridiculous to think that every single candidate who's running as a Democrat, has it ever occurred to you maybe somebody is smart enough to run as a Democrat to win? Or become, what's his name, Federer? The guy from Pennsylvania? Isn't he a registered Democrat? Always been ran as Democrat, still is a Democrat representative who actually, I'm not a fan of him, don't get me wrong, but I've seen him have way more logic and stand for America versus a lot of Republicans. We got this giant brush and we're brushing everybody over and over and over and over. And now it's the messy. I was looking for something else and I saw something else. It's like, wow, the whole force for tomorrow, entire force is to unseat Congressman Thomas Messi. And I'm like, the guy isn't as the evil as you're painting him. But I'm like, oh, wait. The gang leader called him the traitor. That's it. We're going to get rid of him. These are the problems. The government isn't the problem. Me and you, the ones who signed up for the cults of left, cult of right, cult of this, cult of that. Describe American to me. What an American means. Yeah, we walk around and throw the term freedom all day long. But 9 out of 10 Americans cannot describe what freedoms are. That one I'm willing to bet. The reason they have forgotten what freedoms are is because they're not practicing the freedoms. That's the way it is, right? When you don't practice them, you don't know what they are. I'm out of time. And that's okay. 7 p.m. tonight, in 2 hours, I'm going to be live on a Zoom link. That the link will be sent to my paid subscriber on Substack. 7 p.m. me and Aisha, possibly Michael Lauber, diving into the architecture of jihad for about an hour or so. And I will air that tomorrow, just as they are. We won't archive it. And then I'll be back live here Wednesday with Barry Newsbaum to have more fun with Iran and the big victory we're carrying from the war. Until then, stay safe and stop following people who are lying to you. I'll see you Wednesday. Bye, guys.